Hey everyone, welcome to our small footprint. My name is Nyssa, and if you're new here, we are a family of 8 who live off-grid in Australia. Now, today's video is a bit of a different one for me. We were very lucky and very grateful that Jackery Australia contacted us and asked us if we would be willing to take on one of their solar generators in return for doing some videos. Now, if anyone who's been watching me for a while knows that we've eyed off these solar generators for a while, thinking that they would be really useful to use mobile around the property, so that if we didn't have to run a power cord to something, that we could use the solar generator. But they were a little out of our price range currently, so it was something that was on the wish list for later on. When Jackery contacted us, I was excited. It was awfully neat to be contacted by someone, to be given something, and they gave me a rundown of what they were willing to give to us and what we would need to do in return. So one of those things is a video. Now, I'm lucky that they had watched my channel before offering me the Jackery, because it let them know that I'm not very good at doing scripted type videos. So, and I'm not going to take on anything that isn't going to be useful for us either, because I need the videos to integrate in. So they were okay, they were good with that, which is great, because that means I get to show you the Jackery in the way that we use it. I get to show you multiple videos over the next however long we've got it, indefinitely, of all the different ways we figure out to use it as we go. But in saying that, we are going to cover some of the details of it, and I actually have some notes, because we all know how good I am at rambling off on everything, to make sure that I cover everything that I need to cover to let you know about it, in case you've been wanting to buy one and you just wanted some like real life experience with it. So for us, we got the solar generator kit, which is the portable power station as well as a solar panel, and I'll turn you around and show you it in a second. And we got the SG2000 Plus, which is it's expandable. So the base unit has a 2000 watt battery, 2048 watt battery. It's a lithium battery, and then you can buy battery packs that go on top of it, all the way up to about 12 kilowatts. So it's about 2 kilowatts standalone, and you can stack it up to about 12 kilowatts. So the idea is that if you were using it as a camper or a traveler or whatever, 2 kilowatts is around about a day, 12 kilowatts is around about a week in their base calculations for how you'd use it in like a camping type situation. For us, obviously, we're static. We don't take it places. We don't go camping and things like that. What we wanted to use it for was on our property. So we are completely solar. We have 2 solar arrays. We have a main system that we use that has a battery bank of around about 21 kilowatts, 21 kilowatt hours, but it's a gel battery bank, which means that you can only use 30% of it. Lithium, you can use 80% of their batteries, so even if the battery banks are smaller, you can use more of them. Lithium has its pros and cons. In this sort of a thing, it's perfect because lithium's much smaller and lighter. So the battery bank that we have on the house, and we also have a secondary one out in the garden, which I've shown before, that has a battery bank of about half the size of what we have. Now, what we run into trouble with is things that are high draw items. So when we want to do things like a hot wash, we bought a new washing machine a while back, an automatic washing machine. We've been using twin tubs up until now, and the automatic washing machine that we bought has the ability to do hot wash, but we couldn't run the water pump and the heat pump in the washing machine and all that at the same time on our solar system. So what we've been able to do, and Darryl took some footage, so I'll put some footage in here, is use the Jackery to run the actual washing machine, while the main system runs the water pump for the machine as well. And so we managed to do a 60-degree wash on some towels and things like that, which was wonderful to do. We do have the ability to go to laundromat, and we can just bleach them and wash them and things like that, but a hot wash is always nice to have a hot wash occasionally. So we managed to do that with the new washing machine using it, and it used around about 50% of the battery in the Jackery. So that worked perfectly for us. Now, the Jackery can be charged multiple ways. It can be charged with solar panels. So let me just turn you around for a sec. So this is where we have the Jackery set up at the moment, because out here is where we can put the panels. Now the panels are flat at the moment because it's late afternoon and the sun is western and we're not in quite the right position for them to be tilted. So we just adjust it as needed. And then you want the Jackery to be in some sort of cover, under some sort of cover, because you don't want it to get too hot. When batteries get too hot, they don't work very well. So you want to keep it as sheltered as possible. So we've got it underneath the stock tank out the back of the house at the moment, and the solar panels. So this is the solar panels that came with it. This is a 100-watt solar panel, and you can have up to 6 of these attached to the Jackery at any one time. We got this one free, and for us the foldable, these are wonderful. They're very lightweight, easy to carry around, and they fold in half, and they've got a little pouch on them that you can tuck all the cords in. Perfect for when you're needing to move around and things like that, and you can get extensions for the cords for them to have them at a different distance, and as I said, you can put up to 6 on them. And with the 6 panels, I think it was 5.5 hours it would charge the 2042 watt Jackery, the single battery pack. I think it was 5.5, 6 hours or something that 6 of these would charge it. But for us, we already have a whole lot of solar, so investing in more solar panels isn't going to be key for us, though having them for, like, you know, we talk about if we were evacuated or something like that, we'd take the Jackery with us as a power source if we were to be evacuated, and then if you had the 6 of them, then that would be beneficial. But in saying that, you can charge the Jackery 3 different ways. So you can charge it with the solar panels that are supplied, and you can have up to 6 of those, so up to 600 watts of solar on directly into the Jackery. It has the charge control and everything built in to handle those 6 panels. You can plug it into your car, so you can plug it into the 12 volt port in your car, like the lighter port in your car. But you can also charge it on a wall outlet. So what we have found the most efficient way to charge it for us is to plug it directly into our pre-existing solar via AC, so via a standard wall outlet. The main solar, the only issue we ran into when we did it was when you plug it into a wall outlet, it will try and draw the maximum amount of power that it can. And because we're on solar and have small inverters on our solar, it was trying to pull too much and it was having trouble running everything else at the same time. So there is a setting on it that allows you to set it into quiet mode, and when it's on quiet mode, it stays under, I think it was 30 decibels was all the sound it's going to be at, and that just sort of automatically reduces the amount of power it can pull in because it's going to stay quiet, and it only pulls in about 500 watts when it's on that, which is perfect for us. So what we found is charging it via our existing solar works the best for us throughout the day when we've got plenty of sunlight on the panels and we don't need it charging the other batteries, and then we can use it of an evening. So the Jackery comes with an app on your phone. I'll put a clip in here of the app when I'm on my phone at the moment, so I'll hop off the phone and I'll film the app and I'll put a clip in here of it. So it has an app with a whole lot of details on it. It shows you the wattage going in via the solar or via however it's charging. It shows you wattage going out. It gives you an estimate of how long you've got, like, on that wattage. So if you've got 200 watts going out, it's going to give you an estimate on how long you can run that 200 watts. Obviously it fluctuates depending on how much power is coming in and out, and it gives you a percentage of how much is left on the battery as well. So all the information that you need is in the app, and that's where you set it to be quiet mode or not as well. It's got a couple of USB ports as well as standard power ports, so you can charge various different things on it, directly on it, as well as through a power pack of some sort or whatever else you want to use, with the 2 USB-Cs, the 2 USB-As, and the 12 volt lighter thing there, and it has a screen display as well to show you, like, basically the same info that's shown on the app but on the Jackery as well, so that you don't have to load up the app if you don't want to. So it has a lifespan of about 10 years or 4,000 cycles. So a cycle on a solar battery is classed as when it gets used and then gets recharged back up to 100%. So they say it's got a lifespan of about 4,000 cycles or 10 years. There is always some degradation in battery, and I think they say 10 years up to 80% of the battery was what was listed on the thing. It's got some flame retardancy, the unit, and it also has some shock or fall protection as well, which I think is great, because being something that you move around, it's handy to have that little bit of fall protection. So I was just going to show you. So we have the secondary solar system out the back here. This is the one that the fan always runs when I was doing this voiceovers. People have been around for a while. So we have a very simple setup here with a charge controller, inverter, and a combiner box for the panels that are on the roof. I'll put a quick photo here of what the panels look like, and then a battery bank. So this is our very basic secondary solar, super simple, couple of safety switches in there, and that's it. Very simple, but this is what we're using to charge the Jackery during the day. So we just come in here and we put it in here and we charge it up, and then we take it back in at night. Now the plan is that we have some spare panels on the roof as well, and we might buy another small charge controller and inverter, and we will put that near the house, and then it can be charged while it's at the house. The only issue we have run into so far with bringing it out here is that you have to bring it out here, which is fine, we've just been using a wagon, but also that the Bluetooth to the app doesn't work this distance. We have Starlink and the Wi-Fi doesn't reach this far, so the Jackery can't connect to the Wi-Fi, and therefore we can't connect to the app while it's out here, which is fine. We just send a child out to check the percentage on it. But having one close to the house would be nice for being able to charge it there, access the app and everything else, and not have to move it around as much. But the other plans with it are that for water transfer, we have a couple of new pumps turning up to help with transferring water from the IBCs. And at the moment we have one space set up that we have to use because we have to get power to it. To be able to move that, to just grab the Jackery and run a pump like that would be really ideal. But our biggest win out of it so far has been that we are charging it during the day on the excess solar. So we're using solar that we wouldn't otherwise be using, because the batteries out here are on full. Yeah, they're 27.6 volts. So these batteries are full. So any power that's coming off the panels at the moment, it doesn't need, they're not using. So instead it would be pushing into the Jackery. So we're using power that's being wasted anyway, and that power is then powering the kids' electronics of a night time. So we bring the Jackery back over, and we have one plug that plugs all the kids' electronics in, one circuit that plugs all the kids' electronics in, all their TVs, gaming consoles, computers, all that sort of stuff. It runs all of it, and we run that at night time, and it means we don't have to run the generator. So we have a backup generator, just a small generator. It's one that we only just had to replace recently, if anyone who's been watching. So we'll actually use the generator tonight, because I don't know if you can tell, but it's really cloudy tonight today. So we got down to 70% last night, so it hasn't hit 100% during the day. And that's the other thing, is that sometimes it doesn't hit 100% during the day and we have to run the generator. But that was happening more often because we were getting low more often because of the kids' computers. So what we've been able to do is reduce our generator usage to about every 4th or 5th day, I suppose. Run it for a couple of hours. Just over bath time is when we tend to run it. So like between say 6 and 8 p.m. we might run it for 2 hours while everyone's having baths and the pump's running and stuff, and it'll just keep the solar up high enough that it'll last us all night. But we haven't had to do it, as I said, we've only had to do it like every 4 or 5 days, because we've had the Jackery for the kids' stuff to be run on, and because the kids' stuff running on that, it's not draining the main solar. Theoretically, this solar could run their stuff at night time as well, but these batteries were secondhand and they're a little unreliable. So we use this solar array more for simple things: the transfer pump for the water, for the IBC, for irrigation for the garden that needs to be, and the pump that runs the garden water, the heat mats for the seeds when we have that. This one runs my Thermomix, so again, that's very intermittent usage, but it runs a Thermomix. And any other, I have thought about maybe getting an air fryer or something, maybe at some point, just to make life a little bit simpler at times. And this solar could run that as well, because it's short bursts of things, and it does okay with that because the batteries tolerate it. So that's what this secondary solar array is for. It's not it's a little temperamental, but it works. And we got the batteries really cheap because they were ex-government UPS batteries, like one of their backup server batteries or something. So we got them very cheap, and it works. And the setup that we've got for the inverter and the charging controller we really like. So that's what we'll probably do, is buy the same setup for over on the house with the spare panels that are on the roof. And then we have some old 6-volt batteries that we'll just set up a 24-volt battery bank, because the battery bank isn't going to be the important part. It's just going to be the solar coming in of a daytime to charge up that Jackery. We don't need any significant battery bank for that, because we're not going to be using the battery bank. We're just using the daytime solar to charge the Jackery, but somewhere close to the house, if that makes sense. So anyone who's on solar will understand that having multiple sources of power is beneficial, especially if you have to shut anything down for anything. So that our main solar, that's the other thing that we were going to do, and we were going to show it on video, but we couldn't get it done until can't remember why, but we can't do it just yet. But the plan is that we need to move the battery bank for the main solar. And when we do that, we will probably plug everything into the Jackery while we move the batteries, so that we don't have to turn everything off while we've got the solar disconnected and things like that. While we've got the batteries disconnected and things like that. So that will work well. What else did I need to cover? So let me check my notes and make sure that I've covered everything that needs to be covered. I'll reiterate. So the particular generator kit that we got is this portable power station with the portable solar panels, and it's the SG2000 Plus, which is the one that is stackable, which is what we really wanted. And as I said, we're very grateful to have received, because it means that if we want to buy extra battery packs for it, we can, and we can continue to use it for basically what we're doing. Charge it during the day and use it as a lithium-based solar generator for evening for the kids to use in their thing. And maybe even, like, we talk about putting Surreal out into her own space at some point. She's 16 and she wants to sort of have a little bit of distance, and we were looking at building a small, like a 6x3 type space for her. And it's possible that something like the Jackery could be all she'd need for powering her entire space, because it's not like she won't be cooking or anything. It'll be a laptop and some lights and things like that. So one of these would probably be a really nice, simple, self-contained kind of a solar system for something like that, which would be pretty awesome. So we're playing around with all different things that we want to do with it, and we'll bring you along as we do it. But the main thing is that I wanted to show you what it was and how we're currently using it, and a bit about the app and things like that. They're running a promotion for Australia Day, so this video is going to come out in time for that, hopefully. And they have there should be a link in the description. We'll put a link in the description. There's 8% off and a $100 JB gift card for purchases between the 17th and the 26th for certain models. But also there should be a personalized link for me that gives you an extra 5% off as well. The other thing is that they're in Bunnings now. So last time I did my shopping, I was going to go in and try and find them. I was going to do a short on it because they were going to be in Bunnings. But I was a little too early. They had received the stock, but they hadn't set it up. So this shopping trip, they should be all set up. So I'm going to go into the Bunnings in there. So in Queensland, they have Bunnings stores that are showing them in person as well, if you wanted to have a good look at what they look like in person, size-wise and weight-wise and things like that. So when I go on this shopping trip, I will go into Bunnings and show that off as well. So that is what we've worked out so far with the Jackery, and we will keep on sharing as we figure out exactly how we're going to use it in the best way to suit the sort of off-grid lifestyle, rather than the camping mobile lifestyle that it's been sort of aimed at previously. And we'll bring you along as we do. So if you're interested, the links are in the description, in checking them out, and any questions, feel free to ask about how we're using them and what we've done, what we've discovered so far, and we will keep on sharing. So thanks, guys.